Listen, I have never in my life, in my 15 plus years of watching reality TV, have I ever seen anything like I seen tonight on Bad Boys LA. Y'all know what I'm talking about. And we gonna get into it. Welcome back to Damien After Dark. You know what to do. If you're not subscribed yet, what the hell are you doing? Hit that subscribe button so you can stay up to date when I post new content, reviews go live, and so much more. Today is the Bad Boys LA Season 1, Episode 9 review. And baby, do we have some things to talk about? Whew. Y'all, I don't know. Like, y'all gotta go ahead, drop your comments about what you thought about this episode, because this was wild. This shit was wild. This was better than the entire season. Episode 9 was better than episodes 1 through 8 put together. And we have to thank Jonathan Wright for that. Zeus, Lamel Plummer, if you're watching, y'all better go on and give Jonathan his advance, because he showed up for 2 episodes and did more than a lot of these boys did the whole season. All right. And can we all just agree before we begin that Milan is a pussy ass stunt queen out this world? I have never in my life seen a punk ass bitch like Milan. And I mean, it is what it is. I don't care. I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna say it. That's the truth. And we're gonna get into why I think that. Like, in my opinion, Milan is worse than Dylan and William together. Like, I would rather watch William and Dylan do a show together than have to sit and watch Milan for another hour of my life. First of all, let's start off. We're catching back up from last week. We remember that Jonathan is gone up to Milan's bedroom because he's now claiming the room. Jonathan is saying, this is my room now. You know, he's new to the house. He needs somewhere to sleep. There's already limited spaces for where everyone can sleep. So he wants to take Milan's room. At one point, he tried to negotiate with Milan and say, hey, can we share this room? But Milan wasn't having it. So what did Milan do? He went and called his friend Rio to come and help him. Now, Milan will say differently and say he just called Rio to come stay with him or whatever. But let's keep it real, Milan. You called Rio because you needed backup. You were intimidated by Jonathan, and you know that you weren't going to be able to handle Jonathan. So you said, pring, hey, homeboy, this is how it went. He thought, I need you to come over, get your spot on TV, get your shine, and I need you to whoop this Jonathan boy's ass for me so you can look good on TV. And the whole plan backfired. Okay, so Jonathan's like, this is my room now. Rio's like, it's not. And what does Rio do? He swings first. Now, before Milan and Rio try to pull this victim shit, like Jonathan's doing way too much, Jonathan's dangerous, y'all started this shit. Yes, Jonathan went and tried to claim the room, but Jonathan never once started it with violence. You swung first, Rio. So what happens after that? That's on y'all. That is on y'all. The blood is on your hands, Milan. And the blood is on your hands, Rio, literally. Okay, so Jonathan pulls Rio's hair out, and I think that was the highlight of the season. Not only did he pull this boy's hair out, he wears this boy's hair in the confessional. And did y'all see when Jonathan pulls his hat off, the hair falls down, and throughout the entire episode, there's a strand of Rio's hair right here on Jonathan's shoulder. I was trying not to laugh the whole episode, but I could not help it because, like, hilarious, Jonathan. Like, you made this season, you made this episode. Somebody also, oh wait, before I get into that, Milan, the whole time they're fighting, you're sitting there watching. How you gonna call your friend for backup and then let your friend get his ass beat in front of you? Like, my mind was blown. I'm sitting here like, what am I watching? If that was me, and my friend called me, and I went to help friend out, and then I get my ass handed to me, and my friend watches, oh, bitch, please, we are done. We are no longer friends. And no, you know, maybe Rio didn't need for Milan to step in, but Milan could have done something. You could have tried to pull this boy off of him. You could have grabbed something and knocked this boy upside the head and said, "Get off my friend." Something. You sat back and watched like a PAB. Like what? Somebody give security a raise. Zeus, y'all need to give security a raise because these boys are huffing and puffing and panting and sweating and running and this way and that way, and they don't know what to do because y'all are acting fucking crazy trying to hold. Jonathan's a big boy. Jonathan's a big dude, so they trying to hold this dude back. Rio's not really a little dude either. He's pretty muscular himself. Y'all trying to hold these big ass dudes back, and it's taking everything they can. Like, these security guards need a raise. They need something. Give them some health insurance, Zeus. Give them something, because they was putting in the work to try to keep these boys off of each other. So Rio is in the floor. Did y'all notice how this boy, Rio, literally the entire time, all 3 times he got his ass whooped, he's more worried about his hair. Like, I'm like, what? Every time we look up, and the first time Jonathan punked his ass and beat his ass and had him in the floor, Rio is laying in the floor the entire time, sitting there trying to put first it was a t-shirt, then it was a towel. He's trying to put this shit on his head. Obviously, Rio has some kind of hair issue. Maybe he's got a receding hairline or he's bald or something. He's obviously insecure about his hair. So when Jonathan rips the hair out of his head, the entire time he's so worried about putting something over his head. And I'm like, get up. Get up. Fuck your hair. Like, you gotta get up and do what you gotta do. Because at this point, Jonathan is making y'all look like a fool. 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 Big time fool. Y'all might as well take this marker and write fool on your forehead. And I'm just being 100 with it. Because you more worried about what your hair look like. Like, this whole episode, I was stunned. From him trying to fix his hair, to Jonathan mollywhopping left and right, to Milan being a pussy and standing in the corner and behind the fence and calling the law. We're going to get into all of that. But Milan said, and I quote, "I'm not fighting. I wasn't fighting anybody else." Really? You wasn't fighting anybody else, but from the moment you walked in the door, you tried to fight everybody. See, that's the problem. They should have casted Jonathan from the get-go, and I guarantee you, Milan would have been mute the entire time, and he wouldn't have been trying to run the house. The only reason that Milan was trying to run the house the entire time is because none of these boys stood up to him. A lot of these boys felt threatened by him. Not all of them. Not all of them. I don't think Gunna was threatened by Milan. I don't think Rail was threatened. I don't think Carry-On was threatened. Did I say Gunna? But most of the rest of y'all boys, even the straight boys, I feel like Mo and Curtis were scared of Milan. But the whole time, Milan ain't gonna do shit. He's all bark and no bite. And everybody stood in the corner scared of him the entire time. Until Mr. Jonathan Wright came along and did it the right way. Okay. Milan says his leg is fucked up. Liar face. Your leg is not fucked up. Stop trying to conveniently use that as an excuse because you're scared, Milan. Let's be 100% real. At one point, Jonathan, like, when security gets them away from each other, Jonathan gets a fucking fire extinguisher. And I'm like, why didn't somebody get the bleach? Y'all remember on Bad Girls Club Miami when Kristen got bleach threw on her? She threw bleach on me. She threw bleach on me. It's chemical warfare. That's what Kristen said. Now, bleach would have cleared them hoes out like motherfucking cockroaches when you cut the light on. I guarantee you, had Rio come out there with bleach or Jonathan come out there with bleach, slinging that shit, they would have scattered like roaches because that shit would have burned like a motherfucker. But I couldn't get over Rio just laying there. Like, you were literally laying there vulnerable as fuck, Rio, to the point to where Jonathan grabs Rio and pulls his ass. I was looking up at one point and I didn't even realize Rio was in the floor until I saw his body like literally slid off the floor. I'm like, you gonna let this boy kill you. You gonna let Jonathan kill you, Rio. Get up and fight. Rio, he just too concerned about his hair. All I can think of while watching this is like, y'all are destroying this beautiful LA home. Like, we here in LA, we trying to have a good time. Yes, it's the bad boys club. Yes, we're gonna fight, we're gonna argue, but y'all are destroying this home. And it gets worse to the point later where shit, like, not even just the home is getting destroyed, production is getting destroyed, lights, all this shit. Like, I'm sure Zeus had to cough up a pretty penny just to repair a lot of the shit, because what we saw on TV was probably a fraction of what was damaged in that house. And later on, they even say there's blood everywhere. So you probably had to get cleaners in there. You probably had to replace shit, get things fixed, buy new this and that, get the blood stains out of this and that. I would have hated to have saw that fee. The fee they had to pay, the check they had to write after leaving that house. I bet it was a fucking mess. Where's the couth? Where's the couth? Did y'all not have no motherfucking couth? Damn. Rio keeps saying, you just pulled my hair. You pulled my hair, pussy. That's all you did was pull my hair. Are we watching the same show? Because baby, no. Rio, he dog walked you not one time, not two times, tres. He mopped you up like a motherfucking mop bucket. I mean, and like, where, let me see. At one point, the second time, they got separated, I think it was, and and Rio wanted to fight again. Jonathan, like, literally, I'm gonna try to demonstrate this the best way I could. Like, it literally just looked like Street Fighter. It looked like motherfucking Donkey Kong. Whoop, 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 whoop. Like, the way he was just swinging, whoop. It was like these low swings. And I was scared for Rio's life at one point. Literally, I was scared for Rio's life. I was watching like, are you okay? Is he dead? Is he breathing? Like, you couldn't even see the boy. You couldn't even see the boy. He was just covered with Jonathan was on top of him. You got security right here, security right here. You got Natalie in the back watching like this. You got cameraman trying to get the shot. Shout out to them cameramen, by the way. Them cameramen need a raise as well, because they laid it out perfectly for us to see everything that was going on. So security need a raise. The cameraman need a raise. Like, but what I will say is this, and Lemmy, you need to be careful, because this is a fucking liability. You already got Jocelyn's Cabaret with the girls threatening to put a lawsuit on you because of them getting physically hurt at the reunion. But this shit right here, I don't see how somebody did not seriously get injured to where they had to be committed to the hospital or sent to the hospital. Like, seriously, I don't see how a cameraman wasn't knocked upside the head. I don't see how somebody didn't get their face cut wide open by glass, because it was pandemonium. Not only were they having a house party and there was people everywhere, you got a huge production crew everywhere. You got a cast of 10 people. Like, there was so many people in that house. I don't see how someone did not get seriously hurt. It was a huge liability. And like I've said before, Lamel Plummer, the CEO of Zeus, the guy who created all this, it's not like he had this success overnight. He worked for BET. He's produced shows before. Preachers of LA, way back in the day. Y'all remember that show on Oxygen? He created that show. Like, this is not your first rodeo, Lemmy. You should have some things in place for liability reasons. I hope there's something in their contract. I hope there's something to keep you and your brand and your money secure and safe, because this shit got out of hand, man. Like, don't get me wrong, it was entertaining. I'm sitting over here texting my friend like, girl, Taylor, did you just see this? Like, it got out of hand, but it was entertaining. I'm not gonna lie though. Jonathan goes downstairs. I laughed so hard after the fight. This motherfucker went downstairs and starts peeling an orange and eating an orange like nothing ever happened. Like, this is just a usual day in Jonathan Wright's world. I was like, I would have been shook. I would have been like, I need a Xanax. I need something. He down there peeling an orange like just another day. So security separates them. Rio goes downstairs for more. And baby, Jonathan dog walks him again, just like I said earlier when he just plummeted this motherfucker in the floor. I mean, like every chance, you could tell that Rio was so humiliated and embarrassed that he was just trying to get any lick in that he could so he could have some kind of leeway in the situation so he didn't look like he really got his ass beat. But Rio, you cute Rio, but he fucked you up. He fucked you up like 3 times. Like every time Jonathan got a hold of you, you were in the floor, worried about your head. And he just dot 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 dot, or as Gunna says, da 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 da. Like he literally da 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 your ass throughout that entire mansion. And I'm sure it's really embarrassing to watch back. I hope your family ain't watching this shit back, because if I would be embarrassed for you, if you were my family, I would be like, how you let this motherfucker beat your ass like that? Like, my thing is, if you know you can't fight, why you gonna be even trying to fight? Like, I don't know. I don't get it. Yet again, like I said, he keeps wrapping his hair up. Milan, now, at one point, they go outside, right? And it gets even worse. One of them gets thrown into the pool or some sort of water. And outside, outside they had a table set up, and that was the production table. And they had, because usually like when there's an event being filmed and people are going in, they're going to be on camera. You've got production assistants outside with tables set up and their pens and paper, and they're like, hi, we're filming for this event. If you're going to go in and be on camera, we need you to fill out this form and get a picture of you, yada, yada, yada. So they, production table, everything's outside. At one point, they're fighting so hard. The table's destroyed. The paper's going everywhere. The appearance releases are flying everywhere. The cameraman are trying to get out of the way. The light fixtures are fucking falling over. It is a mess. Milan is literally hiding behind a gate like this, peering over and watching everything. And I was like, I can't believe this right now. If this was my friend, and I watched this shit back, and I seen you hiding behind a fence, watching as this motherfucker is putting his hands all onto me, and you just watching, like, where were you, Milan? You're Mr. Fighter, remember? You're Mr. Fighter. Where were you? Like, you were nowhere to be found, Milan. You were that friend. You are that friend who talks cash money shit, but is nowhere to be found. I felt sorry for Rio. I'm not gonna lie, in a way. Like, even though Rio put his hands on Jonathan first, and you can't get mad at someone's reaction to your disrespect when you swing first. Y'all can't be all like, oh no, he's doing too much. Y'all started this shit, okay? But if that was me, like, I felt bad for Rio, because his friend called him for backup to come help him out, and then his friend runs the fuck away and is nowhere to be found when he gets his ass handed to him. And then in the confessional, Rio's all like, Milan, I don't know where Milan was, but yeah, like trying to take up for Milan in a way, but you could tell Rio was disappointed. Maybe he just didn't want to express it in the confessionals. But be real, Rio. Be real. He was nowhere to be found. He didn't have your back. He doesn't give a fuck about you. And he used you. Point blank and a period. That's all there is to it. Let me know in the comments. Don't y'all feel that Milan just totally used Rio to do his dirty work and fight Jonathan, and it backfired? It backfired big time. Milan literally, he turns into Karen. Milan turns into Karen real quick and runs in the corner and calls the police. And he even says in his confessional, this shit has gotten too far. I'm going to call the police. Why are you calling the police now? Why are you calling the police now? You orchestrated all this shit, Milan. None of this would be happening if it wasn't for you. How you gonna call 12 when your friend swung first? I want to know. Because in actuality, if we want to get technical with this shit, Jonathan was using self-defense. If we're going to get technical, Rio swung first. And yes, Jonathan may have whooped your ass really bad and got super physical, slinging shit. But in actuality, you cannot get mad because this man was using self-defense. It would be no different if Rio swung on Jonathan and Jonathan pulled out a gun and blew your fucking head off. You can't do shit about it unless California doesn't have a stand your ground law. But where I'm from, if you put your hands on somebody, you have every right to defend yourself. And how you defend yourself and the outcome of the defense is not my fault. That's on you, baby. And also, so the police show up, and where I'm from, somebody would have went to jail, okay? Milan calls the police show up, they do a walkthrough of the house, but where I am from, the law was going to take somebody to jail. Somebody was going to be accountable for something. Y'all done called us out here. This place is a mess. We see blood. Something's done happened. Who's going to jail here? But nobody went to jail, and the party kept going. The party kept rocking. Milan and Jonathan go talk, which we didn't get to see, which I thought was odd. You know, Milan was like, let's talk, Jonathan, let's talk, let's just talk, let's just talk. And security takes them to another room to talk, but we never saw that play out. And I don't understand why Zeus did not show that. That was a very important scene that we needed to see. And y'all just left it out like nothing ever happened. And to be honest, Milan had fear straight in his eyes the whole time. That motherfucker has straight fear in his eyes. So the party continues. You got girls dancing, people drinking, smoking, sipping, having a good time. And then you got Curtis and Mo. I'm sorry, like I try to give Curtis and Mo a little bit of benefit of the doubt, but they just look so corny to me. Like, I don't know what it is. When the strippers were dancing, they sitting over here like throwing the money. It was so obvious that in their head, they're like, oh yeah, we got girls here. Look at us. We're straight. We're straight. We got pussy in front of us. We're straight. Y'all look so motherfucking corny, man. Like, I like Curtis. He grew on me. Don't get me wrong. Curtis grew on me. But Mo, hanging out with Mo Curtis, it's just not a good look. It's just not a good look. And even though Down Low Mo grew on me a little bit too, y'all still some corny ass dudes. And I'm just gonna say it. It is what it is. Jonathan gets sent home, or not sent home. He has to go to a hotel to cool down, which, you know, that happened on Bad Girls Club as well. When a lot of these girls would get in a fight, they have to get sent to a hotel to calm down, which I felt like was a good move, because with all these emotions, with all this tension in the air, there was no telling what would have happened when these boys laid their head down at night. Somebody could have got their throat slit. So I think it was a good idea. They should have probably put both of the boys in a hotel, different hotels on different sides of LA. And then, y'all remember last week, I told y'all about this video, right? Go back and watch my review from last week, and then go back and watch my review from the week before that. I talked about this video that they showed tonight. Gutta posted the same video on his Instagram a couple months ago when Bad Boys first started airing. And the video was of Jonathan beating the hell out of Rio for the 4th time. Rio, you got your ass whooped 4 times on camera in one episode. That shit, embarrassing. Embarrassing as fuck. So y'all saw the video, right? Here it is in all its glory. I'm not showing it. I wish I could show it, but they finally show it. And Rio, baby, when are you gonna learn? Leave Jonathan alone. So Jonathan claims that Rio hit him with the chair first. We don't know what happened. All we see is Jonathan chasing that boy with the chair, and whop, 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 3 or 4 times. One to the back, one to the hand, one to the top of his head. I mean, he thrashed that boy so many times. Like, and here we go again with Milan being a lying ass stunt queen trying to look cute for the cameras. Milan says, I wish I would have been downstairs when he came there with the chair. What the fuck were you gonna do? What were you gonna do, Milan? You ain't done shit the whole time. What were you going to do? Truth be told, you knew what was going on, I bet. I bet you knew he was outside getting his ass handed to him with the chair. You were probably peeking out the window watching. So how you gonna get in your confessional and say, I wish I would have known that he was downstairs doing that? What were you gonna do? Nothing but be a little bitch like you've been the entire season. Oh, I'm getting worked up. I'm getting worked up. Like, this is a show, Damien. This is a show. Calm down. It's not that serious. It's not real life. But these, like, I cannot. It's like Milan thinks, do you not think we're going to watch all the footage and see what's going on? You think you're going to lie to us in the confessionals? Like, I just don't get it. So, if you notice, like, I want to know how the whole chair incident went down. I want to know what happened with the chair incident. Because Milan says that he notices in the video that Rel and Gutta are outside while this is happening. Gutta in his confessional says that he was at the house and Jonathan calls and says, "Who's there at the house?" Gutta was like, "Oh, it's me and Rel and yada yada yada." Jonathan's like, "Oh, is Rio there?" And he tells him, "Yeah, he's here." Gutta says that Jonathan pulls up and then there's a chair in the middle of them. They get into it. Rio slings the chair. Jonathan picks the chair up and goes after him. Now, Jonathan states that Rio hits him with the chair first. So, there's where the confusion lies. We got 3 different stories here. Gutta's story, Jonathan's story, Rio's story, and we got the truth somewhere in the middle. So I'm hoping at the reunion we get answers as to what's going on and what happened. And I mean, I don't know if charges are going to get pressed or not, because we know Milan called the police and he showed the police the video like a little bitch. I don't know what's going to happen here. It don't look good for Jonathan though, because part of me wants to believe Jonathan when he says that Rio hit him with the chair first, but I don't know because nobody else has said that in their story. So I don't know what happened. We need to know. We need to know what happened here and how this all went down, because baby, Rio was bleeding all down his hand. Jonathan fucked that boy up. And to me, in my opinion, Rio, was it worth it? Was it worth it? You did this all for somebody who didn't give a shit about you. And I doubt you got paid. If anything, Zeus probably threw you $1,000 for showing up. But I mean, come on now. Something ain't adding up. And I would like to know, if anybody has any insider information, drop it below in the comments. Milan tells the firefighters that Jonathan shows up and starts hitting Rio with the chair. Like I said earlier, Jonathan says that Rio hit him with the chair first. And just to me, Milan ruins this show, really. I mean, even though, I hate to say this, but even though Milan has helped move the storylines along, he's helped move things along, and obviously if we took Milan out of the season, it probably would have been not as much drama. But he's just like, I don't know. It's just, I don't know. I can't even put into words how annoyed I am with Milan Christopher. I don't want him back next season. Please don't bring him back next season. There's so many more other entertaining personalities and talent out there. We do not need to see Milan Christopher. And if I was a network executive or I was a producer or anything, I wouldn't want to work with him anymore. Like, I just wouldn't want to. We see the way he talks to security. We see the way he talks to producers and cast members. I mean, he was literally dogging out the CEO of Zeus on an Instagram live a couple weeks ago that I watched. Which this is a whole different story. I'm not going to get into it, but Milan is so mad at the CEO, and he feels like the CEO should be held accountable for what Jonathan did. Like, he was like, we don't understand why Lemmy is having anything to do with Jonathan. That's a whole other story. So Milan gathers with the police. He shows them the video of what's going on. The police tell Milan, "Oh, we're going to send you a link, and we want you to send this video to that link." And Milan is confused as to why Gutta and Rels, he kept calling him Rels, R-E-L-L-S. It's Rel, okay? Rel, no S. He's confused as to why Gutta and Rel wouldn't come upstairs and get him when this chair incident went on. Milan, You weren't going to do nothing. Stop trying to talk cash money shit like you were gonna do something. Let's just be real. You were probably watching from the sidelines the whole time. Okay, so Rail, Carry-On, and Gutter are outside talking. In the next scene, they're out by the pool talking. Anthony asked the boys if they're going to talk to the police about what they saw. And I looked at Anthony sideways like, the fuck? Why would they go talk to the police about what they saw? No, bitch. We ain't talking to the law about nothing here. Nothing at all. They talk about how they don't even know who Rio is. Does he live here? Does he not? And that's another thing. I wish Zeus would do a better job with introducing these boys. And I know it's not the Bad Girls Club, y'all. I know. I need to stop trying to compare the two. However, I just wish like we would have gotten better introduction to these boys. Like where they're from, what their occupation is, got a little bit of footage of them from back home, because when they don't do that, it just seems like a random person showing up. Like the show needs more structure. The show needs more organization. It's just like y'all got all the good ingredients. You just don't have, like, I don't even know how to explain it. I don't even know how to explain it. But if you know what I'm talking about. I think the season is almost over. We're on episode 9, so if I had to guess, we probably got 11 or 12 episodes total, meaning there's probably 1 or 2 episodes left, and then the reunion. And Zeus, y'all better not wait no motherfucking month to give us the reunion, or I'm unsubscribing. Who am I kidding? I probably ain't unsubscribing. But they all talk about whether they're gonna go back home and hang out with each other. I doubt that's gonna happen. Maybe they all will. And then we get this scene with Dylan and Curtis talking, and Dylan really brought only 2 pairs of shoes with him, because him and Curtis are outside talking, and he's barefoot and with just his socks on. I mean, not barefoot. He just got his socks on, and Curtis is like, "Why are you in your socks, man?" And Dylan's like, "Oh, my shoes got stolen and I only had 2 pairs of shoes." Why would you bring 2 pairs of shoes with you? And that just shows how Dylan is showing he is from Shelbyville, Tennessee. Okay? He's showing that big time. And here's another poor producer moment. And I noticed this was such a poor producing moment, because why the fuck is Curtis and Dylan just walking down the street together? Like, could y'all not have thought of anything else? Could y'all not have had them in the house cooking breakfast, or had them out at a restaurant? I mean, I don't know if COVID was really bad this time in California, because there was no scenes of them out at restaurants or doing anything the whole season. And I wanted to give COVID as the excuse, but I don't think it was, because if you think about other shows, like for instance, The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, they've been filming, they're in restaurants, they're doing things. Like all these other reality shows that I watch, they're out doing things. But with Bad Boys, they've been in the house the whole time, except for when they went to the recording studio and when they went to the bowling alley and the fashion show. That was the 3 outside events that we got the entire season. But I'm like, why do y'all have, like, the scene was just so weird and awkward of Curtis and Dylan. First of all, they're not even that close in the house. So for them to just be walking outside together, it wasn't natural. It wasn't natural at all. All the boys go outside to talk, and Milan says, he's gonna properly introduce Rio to the house, because a lot of the boys are like, why is he here? In their confessionals, they don't know why Rio is here. Is he a replacement? Is he not? So Milan's like, Rio is now a part of the Bad Boys Club. Here goes Milan again, trying to be the leader of the house. In my opinion, that's what it felt like to me. Like, I don't know. Maybe I just can't like Milan for shit. But like I said, let's be real here, Milan. You brought Rio here and thought you were gonna concoct a plan to jump on Jonathan, and it backfired. But that was the end of the episode. It was a really good episode. I enjoyed it. It was entertaining from pretty much start to finish until the end. The end was a little bit dull, but now Jonathan is gone. I'm pretty sure he's not coming back. You know, they sent him to a hotel, but I'm pretty sure he's gone. In his confessional, he said, I'm out of here. He grabbed his bag and he left. In my opinion, I don't blame him. I mean, Jonathan's a celebrity hairstylist. He's done huge people's hair. So I'm sure he doesn't need the camera time. He doesn't need the money. He doesn't need any of that. He showed up, he whooped some ass, he was funny, and he left. And now I feel like the show is going to be a little bit dull again, in my opinion. I wish they would leave Jonathan on the show, but we'll see what happens. Next week seems kind of dry, but you know I'll be back here in my chair giving you the lowdown on what happened and letting you know what I think. Speaking of what I think, I want to hear from you. What do you think about tonight's episode? Whose side are you on? Are you team Milan and Rio, or are you team Jonathan? Also, are you sad to see Jonathan go? What do you think about the season so far, and what are you expecting for the season coming up? I want to hear from you guys in the comments below. Chime in below. I love talking with you guys about what happened. I love commenting back to you guys. Now, I will say, y'all's support has been overwhelming, and I've been trying to comment back to everybody that I can, but sometimes I can't because there's just so many comments, and I do have a life outside of YouTube with working and other things. So, I need you guys to subscribe so I can make YouTube my full-time career, and that way I can be here and talk to you guys more and comment back and forth and go live and do all that things. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers so we can get monetized. Really need you guys' help. Y'all are doing it with the views. I appreciate it, but I need the subscribers. So please subscribe. Tell a friend, share the video. I love you so much for watching. Make sure you catch my Jocelyn's Cabaret Reunion Part 2 review. It's coming after this one. I'll try to have it uploaded tonight. I love you guys so much for watching and supporting, and we'll see you next time on Damien After Dark. See ya.